in today's video, I'm going to be giving you the best synergies inside of Squad Busters so you know who to pair together in your squad for some easy first place finishes. The first synergy we're going to be talking about is going to be the Barbarian King and the Barbarians. I call this synergy the King and his men. Now the Barbarians are melee fighters with good damage in their baby form, right? They can even become elite after defeating foes in their classic form to become stronger too. And then they can even go elite when there's another Barbarian next to them in their super form, making them even stronger. Now imagine all of that being paired up with the Barbarian King, which he has the ability to actually boost the attack speed of all melee brawlers. If you think about it, the Barbarians are going to be the most ideal melee units to give the attack speed buff to because they are just all-rounder units and they're just considered to be pretty good in the early game. Now what's also good to remember is that the Barbarian King does have 3200 health, which is going to be good to tank shots not only for the Barbarians but for your entire squad as well. And the other great thing about the Barbarian King is that he can actually auto-regenerate his own health whenever he's not attacking if you have his super form. Also, it's just a match made in heaven to pair up the Barbarian King to his Barbarians, isn't it? Now our next synergy is actually going to be the Medic and El Primo. I call this synergy El Medic. Now don't get me wrong, the Medic is going to be paired very well with everything and anything, so why am I suggesting the Medic to be paired up with El Primo? Well, since El Primo does have the ability where he can actually drop his flying elbow into the enemies, he is more than anything is going to be dropping in health more than anybody in your squad. If the Medic should be healing anybody inside of your squad, it should be the unit that's tanking all the incoming damage for your squad, and the unit that is the one that is using a massive flying elbow into the enemies. Now you can even amplify this composition even more if you have the LT Grey Mega unit. Then of course the healing capabilities from the Medic is just going to be that much more valuable to you and your squad. Now since the Medic is the only healing unit inside of Green Road, it's really critical that even if you don't have El Primo or you don't want to use him with El Primo, just use him inside of your squad in general because like I said, he's the only healing unit. Now if you can't get the Barbarian King into your squad, you best be trying your hardest to protect El Primo and healing him up with the Medic. Mostly because El Primo is going to be the only thing standing in between the enemy's incoming damage and your ranged units. Alright guys, the next synergy we're going to be talking about is going to be Colt and the Archer Queen. I call this synergy Brawn and Beauty. Now Colt is obviously going to be one of the best range units inside of Green World because of his high DPS capabilities. Now Colt obviously needs to be paired up with the Archer Queen because she can actually buff up the attack speed of all ranged brawlers. So if Colt can get the buff to his attack speed, then he can actually defeat enemies faster, thus activating his ability Bullet Storm. And of course this is going to be available in his classic form and above. Now I just love Colt inside of Squad Busters because he's just a very reliable character that can deal consistent damage in the early game or in the late game. I just gotta recommend that you have at least some kind of tank like either El Primo or the Barb King to be shielding the Archer Queen and Colt because yeah, if not, they're gonna get absolutely shredded. Alright guys, our next synergy is actually going to be the Chicken and the Hog Rider. I call this the Animals Duo. Now I know this isn't the most exciting and the most flashy synergy inside the game, but it is good for one thing: turbo boost. Because since the Hog Rider will actually give you a turbo boost every single time you run through the grass, can help you get to your objective quicker. And also by combining this with the Chicken, knowing that you're going to get a turbo boost at least from your baby form and your super form, that's just going to help you get even more turbo boost so you can just keep on running quickly. Now obviously they aren't the strongest units and characters that you want to be going for inside of Green Road, but it wouldn't hurt to have at least a couple of them inside of your squad. Overall inside of Squad Busters, it's great to just have a well-balanced squad with like far range units, tanks, speedsters, all of the above. So yeah, having a couple of Hog Riders and Chickens won't hurt you at all. And hey, tell me not, you can't go wrong with getting an increase in your movement speed in any game that you play. Alright guys, our next synergy is actually going to be the Barbarian King and the Archer Queen. I call this synergy the Royal Couple. Now as you can imagine, pairing up two epic units in the game is going to be very strong, and well, you are definitely right about that. No matter what world you are in inside of Squad Busters, you are always going to have melee units and you're always going to have ranged units. So if you can have the Archer Queen and the Barbarian King at the same time to buff both of those respective classes, then your entire squad as a whole will have an increase to their attack speed. It just gets even better because you can have the Barbarian King tank shots for your squad and even tank shots for the Archer Queen, and even though he doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, that is why the Barbarian King is protecting the Archer Queen behind him. The Archer Queen can just sit behind the Barbarian King and just fire shots away. I mean, it's just a perfect combination. This is hands down one of the best synergies inside of Squad Busters because not only are they perfect for your squad, but they are also perfect for each other. Hey, now that you know a few synergies that you can use inside of Squad Busters, I really recommend checking out my other Squad Busters video right here.